Hi, Venus and Scorpios. Welcome to part 3 of your 2017 year love reading, I guess. I did part 1. I don't even remember when I did part 1 in like early February of 2017. I did part 2 a couple months later, and now here we are in July 2017. I think it's, what does it say on my MacBook? July 18th, 2017. So I actually have not rewatched any of the readings I've done because I don't like to do that. I don't like to rewatch my readings. But if I had to go back and rewatch my readings, it would definitely be the Venus and Scorpio series and maybe some other ones as well. But definitely the Venus and Scorpio was quite juicy. And I really enjoyed doing these. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. So, part 3, here we are. You guys, I don't know, what the season is where you guys are right now. It really depends on the time you're watching this video. But currently, it is July 18th, and it is summer. So I hope, if it's summer where you are, I hope you're having a good summer. If it's winter, I hope you're having a good winter. If it's fall, I hope you're having a good fall. All the seasons. A couple months, it'll be fall here, so. So, I don't know if this is, some of you might be, watching part 3 for the first time. Some of you might be watching part 2 for the first time. I feel kind of weird telling you to go back and watch part 1, because that was kind of so long ago at this point. But, I mean, if you want to watch part 1, definitely watch part 1, because, it is for the entire year. And if while you're at it, watch part 2 for sure, and part 3. Now, do I remember saying in part 2 that summer would be better than it was at that moment when I recorded part 2? And summer's definitely been quite interesting for me so far. I don't know how it's been for you. I don't know how this year's been going for you, but this year has been, it's gotten progressively better, but it's been slow. It's been slow to progress and get better, right? It feels like. Feels like I'm dealing with a lot of the same things, but even in when I meet new people, when I cut someone off and then someone else, the universe brings me someone else, it still feels like I'm still dealing with certain elements from the last guy, from the last relationship, from the last dating experience that I can't seem to shake. And I'm starting to think that maybe it's not them, maybe it's me. Not all me necessarily, but maybe it's partially me. What am I doing? How am I showing up? To aid in the experience that I end up creating for myself, right? So, all right, Venus and Scorpios, let's see what's coming up for the rest of 2017. Okay, July, August, September, October, November, December of 2017. Spirit, please show me what's coming up for Venus and Scorpios for the rest of the year 2017. What's coming up for Venus and Scorpios for the months of July, August, September, October, and November of 2017. What's coming up for Venus and Scorpios? What's coming up for Venus and Scorpios for the rest of the year 2017, for the months of July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2017? What's coming up for my Venus and Scorpios? By the way, if this is your first time watching this series, I am a Venus and Scorpio, which is why I love doing these videos, because I'm right there with you guys. Completely right there with you guys. So as I'm doing the reading, I'm literally reading myself. But I like doing that. I like talking and reading myself as I read you guys at the same time. It's interesting. So, alright, what's coming up for my Venus and Scorpios for the rest of 2017? July, August, September, October, November, December 2017. I pulled past, present, future, conclusion, and the card at the bottom of the deck. The card at the bottom of the deck, Venus and Scorpio, are the underlying energies. You got the Strength card. The Strength card. Now, this is interesting because this is going to be kind of different for everyone. For some people, it's going to be the strength to let go and move on. For some people, it's going to be the strength to do something differently, to move differently in a relationship, to act differently, behave differently, react differently. Like I said, as I was saying in the beginning, like for me, I'm realizing that, certain things I'm doing, especially when I get upset, aren't working for me, so I feel like it's kind of like that, where it's like the energy of realizing some things aren't working, certain things aren't working, whether it's the relationship itself isn't working, or how we're showing up in the relationship, how we're behaving, how we're reacting, how our partner is reacting and behaving. Basically something isn't working. And something needs to change moving forward. We need to find the strength within ourselves to initiate that change, right? Which we've been doing. It's been a slow roll here. I want to say this, Venus and Scorpio. I want to say that 25 to 35% of you, listen to me very clearly, 25 to 35% of you who are single right now are not going to be single by the end of 2017. Now, who is included in that 25 to 35%? The exact number of that 25 to 35%, because it could be 25, it could be 30, it could be 29, it really depends. But as I was shuffling the cards, I got a good portion of you will not be single by the end of the year. So I'm going to stick to that. Let me know how that goes. In the past position, we have the Queen of Swords. Standing up for yourself, putting your foot down, setting boundaries, which is very important. And in doing that, Venus and Scorpio, and setting boundaries and, letting people know what you will and won't do, will and won't accept, it's actually attracting the right type of people, the right type of partners to you. Ironically, it's also, you'll start to see certain people, because I feel like it's interesting, because I just kind of saw this in my head. Okay, so in the past, like in 2016, maybe, or like within the last, I'd say 3 years at the most, it feels kind of like the sword in the picture, and like, okay, so the woman is you in the picture. Whether or not you're a man, it doesn't really matter. It's the energy, the overall essence of the energy. If we think about it, Venus and Scorpio is actually kind of feminine energy. It definitely has masculine attributes, but Venus and Scorpio is a kind of receptive sign, right? Rather than a non-receptive sign, I guess. Like, whereas a Venus in Aries isn't a very receptive sign. Venus in Aries is like a more aggressive, like in your face, I want you sign. Like, Venus in Scorpio is a more so receptive, like, you come to me, you know what I'm saying? And then I determine whether or not I want you, right? That's kind of what it feels like here with the Queen of Swords, but it feels like in the past, the sword was a little wobbly. And what I mean by that metaphorically is that your values, your standards, your self-esteem, your self-love, your self-confidence was a little wobbly, which means, you would maybe bend a little, and you know when you felt maybe you needed to, or you would bend a little when you wanted the person to like you. You would bend a little when you didn't want to upset the other person, right? But once again, it feels like we quickly learned that wasn't working. That's not working for us. Bending and shape shifting, and twisting and turning to fit people's needs. We eventually find out that no matter how much we bend and twist and turn and do backflips and, jump flips, we still can't please those people fully, right? So, in going through that process, I think the sword has gotten stronger as we've, gained our self esteem, as we've gained our inner strength to, let go of what isn't serving us, to let go of what isn't providing us with what we need in terms of a relationship, right? So, in terms of that, that's what I mean, kind of where it feels like in the past, the sword's a little wobbly. Like, if we had to think of it, like, the sword would be wobbly in the woman's hand, and then the woman would, like, be, like, kind of anxious and, like, like, but if we look at it now, you know, and if I think of it now, it does not feel like the sword's wobbly. It feels like the sword's very stern, sharp, sharpened, um, and it just feels like Venus and Scorpio, you are not taking any prisoners. Um, you're not playing anymore. You are stepping into your beauty, your sensuality, your beauty as a human being, as a lovable human being. And the more you step into that energy, the quicker you're going to manifest someone to you. I'm telling you. Things have definitely changed since the last reading, which I love. In the present position, we have the moon, so things right now seem a little bit vague, uncertain, maybe. Especially in terms of direction. You may be talking to someone right now. You could be talking to another water sign, could be another Venus water sign. Although I have to say that, I'm going to stick to this too. It feels like it could be a water sign Venus, but it feels like the person that you're actually talking to, and this is if you're single, mainly, if you're single Venus and Scorpio, it feels like the person that you're talking to currently that is associated kind of with this moon energy, it feels like. Because whoever this person is someone who has proven somehow that, or whoever this person is, I'll say, has passed the sword, has passed this point of, okay, it's like you've proven that you're worthy, you've proven that you have potential. So let's move into this next phase. I mean, it's like here we have the moon, though, where things are kind of vague, right? All right, I want to say that this person, whoever this person is, it feels like they have the same sun sign as you, or they have the same moon sign as you, or they have the same. It's like you guys have the same, either the same sun, rising, moon, Mars, or Mercury, or, but I want to say you guys have the same sun sign. You guys have the same sun sign, but if it's not the same sun sign, it's the same element. And this kind of applies to me, definitely, because I'm a Capricorn, and I'm currently talking to a Capricorn. I don't know his Venus sign, but things are definitely vague. But I want to say, if, like, say you're a Scorpio, but the person you're talking to isn't a Scorpio, it could be that person is actually a Cancer or Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either the same sign or the same element that the person that you're currently talking to. Let me pull some more cards. I get so excited with these reading, guys. I love doing these. Because it's literally like I'm experiencing it as I read it with you guys. Okay, so in the future we have the Queen of Pentacles. It feels kind of like a sacrifice. A sacrifice needs to be made. A practical sacrifice. In the conclusion, we have the Three of Pentacles. Money. Money being an issue. Money being an issue of bringing you guys together. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be money, and I'm still on the same topic of single Venus and Scorpios talking to someone of the same sign or same element. I feel like what's keeping you guys from being meeting together and what's kind of this moon energy here is money. Whether it's literally having no money, maybe you guys are long distance, and you need money to travel long distance. Whether you have a car or you have to take a bus, that's important. If not literally money, it's like associated with money. So it's the job. Maybe you guys work too much and there's literally just no time to meet up because there's money to be made. But the interesting thing, though, is that this type of situation is very difficult for a Venus and Scorpio. So, I'm going to pull more cards because I'm getting really excited. Eight of Cups. I'm going to pull more cards. Venus and Scorpio. The Judgment card. Okay, so I want to say something. I want to recommend to you, Venus and Scorpio, with your partner, and I'm halfway saying this, and I'm still on my single Venus and Scorpios, talking to the person of the same sign or same element. I'm going to get to my coupled Scorpios in a second, but I'm saying this, my single Scorpios, from a place of experience, both experience, but also it's coming from the spiritual realm as well. So it's half literally this world, half another world, okay? Is where this information is coming from. I want to say, Venus and Scorpio, be willing to express your needs to your partner. Be willing to express what you need to your partner. One thing that I need with the guy I'm talking to, the Capricorn I'm talking to right now, and this literally happened today. Communication is a big thing for me, and I know communication is a big thing for Venus and Scorpios. When communication isn't there in a relationship, I go crazy. I'm like, why? What's up? Why is communication, awry here? Why is communication hairy? I need communication. I need communication to make me feel secure. That's what I need. That's how I feel. But that's not really doing me any good if I'm not expressing that. If I'm not expressing my needs to the person I'm talking to, if I'm not expressing my needs to the person I'm dating, right, as a Venus and Scorpio, because as a Venus and Scorpio, we have to be honest with ourselves that we're not very needy people, but we need certain things. We need emotional security. We need to know that our partner, we need to know how our partner feels about us, right? So I say all this to say, don't be afraid to express those things to your partner. Either you'll find out that this person is going to be willing to change. Of course, actions speak louder than words, but either you'll find out that this person, will be willing to change, and they'll say, you're right, I do need to change, I do need to do this, and then, maybe that person will change. And that kind of, I don't even know if I got to mention this. Oh, I talk so much. Okay, so let me go back. Alright, so I'm going back to this Queen of Swords. And this is another psychic hit that I got when I was talking, but I guess I talked too much and got too excited. Okay. So, going back to the analogy of the sword being really wobbly, right? I don't know if you've ever played a video game called Kingdom Hearts, or if you've just ever played video games in general, but how I see it in my head visually is literally it's like as time goes on, as we moved closer and closer to 2017, it feels like the wobbly sword got stronger and stronger and got sharper and sharper to the point that the people that approach the Queen of Swords, aka you, aka us, Venus and Scorpios, when the people that would approach us when the sword was wobbly was more easily able to what's the word I want to say? When the people that approached us when the sword was metaphorically speaking, analogically speaking, wobbly, they had easier access to us. Meaning, if we think about it, okay, this is the sword. It's wobbly. It's not stern. It's not in place. Well, if the sword moves over here, you can literally grab my face right here, right? Like, if the sword moves over here, you still have access to my face, right? But as we moved forward to into 2017, it feels like the sword got stern and stronger, meaning you don't have as you can't get access to me. You don't have as much access to me. So, speaking metaphorically, analogically, what's the analogically? What's ana metaphorically, not analytically. Whatever. We'll just go with metaphorically. It feels like now that the sword is strong, people don't have as much access to you and to your heart and your soul. Meaning, because they don't have as much access to you, they can't manipulate you or your emotions. They can't influence you or your emotions, right? It's almost like the people that it's like literally like the sword has gotten stronger, and it's like people keep kind of coming up to you, but it's like because the sword is strong and they can't get access, it's like they're repelled by the sword. That's how I see it in my head, and I see it as a video game visually. That's just a moment, okay? But it feels like, as well as I say that, because the sword being strong metaphorically represents or symbolically represents us, being having, you know, higher standards, accelerating our values, our self esteem, and feeling good about ourselves, and having a high sense of self worth. Right, those are all the things that kind of the Queen of Swords is associated with. That's all the kind of things that at least the sword, the sternness of the sword, and how she's holding it. That's what we think of, right? So as we grow more in that energy of being having high self-esteem and feeling good about ourselves and having a high sense of self-worth, it feels like when people approach us, when certain people approach us, and you have to remember Venus and Scorpio has a very transformative energy as well, right? Once again, they either get repelled, or meaning you put your foot down and they get repelled, meaning you put your foot down and you never hear from them again, right? But then it feels like there are people who approach you, maybe don't approach you in the best way, because you have to approach a Venus and Scorpio the right way, right? But it feels like in you, Venus and Scorpio, standing up for yourself and saying, expressing your needs and saying, hey, I need this, I don't like when you do this, expressing your needs. It feels like that's actually a very transforming thing for those people. And you might find that those people that come up to you, that approach you with your sword in tow, that get transformed, that are like, yeah, you're right, I need to do this. Yeah, you're right, I do need to change. Those people actually might change, and they might actually come back. So I say all this to say, going back to this, we have this vagueness. Because you've let someone in, Venus and Scorpio, single Venus and Scorpio. But of course, it seems like every time you let someone in, there's vagueness. But Venus and Scorpio, this is the perfect time for you, single Venus and Scorpio, talking to someone of the same sign or same element. This is the perfect time for you. Ooh, I'm getting so many freaking psychic hits right now. Okay. This is the perfect time for you to break a cycle, to do something different. You may mess up. You may revert back to certain behaviors, certain qualities that have proved to not be the best for you. The wonderful thing about this person, though, Venus and Scorpio, that of the same sign or element, though, this person feels very patient. This person also feels like they're able to accept their faults and to take responsibilities for their actions, as long as you're willing to do the same. And that's why I say, approaching this person and saying, expressing what you need, how you feel, that's taking responsibility. That's taking action. That's taking fault over your own emotions. So we have to remember, how we show up in a relationship is how the other partner is going to show up in the relationship. Relationships are mirrors. So this is a moment, Venus and Scorpio, if you are talking to someone of the same sign or same element, this is seriously a moment for you to do something different. Manifest that inner strength. Because I feel like, yes, it feels like this could be a really good relationship. Also feels like this isn't going to come without some trials and tribulations. This isn't going to come without some rough patches, some stumbling moments in the beginning of the relationship. Now, I want to say, the Emperor, we have the Judgment card. I want to say that the same people that I'm talking to, how you, what's the word that I want to say? How you handle this situation, how you handle this relationship, will determine whether or not you are one of the 25 to 35% of the people, the single people right now in this moment, who will not be single at the end of the year. And I'm sticking to that. So really, Venus and Scorpio, really, look back at what wasn't working in the past and see how you can make that better in the present. See how you can do something different in the present to get a different and better conclusion. Because I don't see anything bad here. What I'm seeing really is trials, tribulations, tests. Let me pull some more cards. The World, a happy ending. I want to say also, if you're coupled, it feels kind of like the same thing. It feels like a period of being tested and tried within your relationship. Once again, money could be an issue if you're coupled, Venus and Scorpio. But I want to say towards the end of the year, money, depending on if you're coupled, money. Okay, if you're coupled right now and you're having money issues, how you work together, how you come together as a team, as a partnership, how you come together as a team in a partnership, and how you approach your finances, meaning either your joint finances or your, as well as your individual finances, or whatever. How you come together as a team will determine your finances at the end of the year. Meaning, if you come together as a team and you work together in a positive way, you don't fight, you work in harmony, you work for a common goal, it's going to work out. But of course, if there's, defensiveness and fighting and wands being thrown and fire energy, and that's going to be cause for some stagnation, maybe for some wrong decisions to be made in terms of finances. So that's what I mean by how you come together is going to determine how the end result is. And that's kind of what it feels like is the overall theme for a lot of Venus and Scorpios. How you react, how you maneuver, how you behave for the remainder of the year, from now until the end of the year, will determine how the end of your year will be. And that's life, right? That's life. But life is about growing and evolving, and life is about growing, evolving, and learning to hmm, go with the flow. Learning to go with the flow. Not fight the flow. Not fight the current. Not fight the impending change. But go with it. I think that's what it is about. Right? Eight of Wands. New opportunities. Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, Venus and Scorpio. Five of Pentacles. Venus and Scorpio. I'm still stuck on my single Venus and Scorpios talking to the same sign or the same element. I think it's going to be really, really beneficial for you to really be emotionally open and honest with this person, because it also feels like this person isn't very emotionally open and honest. It kind of feels like this person that you're talking to almost doesn't know what they're doing. It feels kind of like this is new terrain, new territory for this person, which is why it's even more important for you, Venus and Scorpio, to really watch how you behave and show up in the relationship with this person, because this person is really watching and taking notes, and this person feels like the one. This person feels like the one. And I wanted to say that earlier, but for some reason I was like, no, I don't want to say that. But this person, and I want to say that this person feels like the one, because this person feels like they don't know what they're doing. They may not necessarily know what they're doing. They may not have their life all the way together. They may not be perfect. Um but it feels like they try. It feels like they try, and it feels like they try to change for you. But you can't beat up on them, Venus and Scorpio, okay? You can't beat up on them. Because this person is going to take it, and this person is going to internalize it, because this person really likes you. But then that can eventually turn into resentment. This person is willing. I say this person could be the one because it feels like this person could be willing to change for you. Now, what that change is going to be different for everyone. But you know what they say when, you know how they say, girls or guys only change for, you know, the guy or girl that they consider the one, you know. People only change for, you know, people that they care about, or people only change for the one, or for the one that they consider the one. And it feels like this person is willing to change for you, Venus and Scorpio. Things might move slow at first, though. Things might seem vague at first and uncertain. You still can't beat up on the person. You still can't go crazy. This is enough. Setting your boundaries, letting the person know, whether it be subtly, or not so subtly, know what you will and won't allow. This is enough. This Queen of Swords energy is enough. You don't have to beat up on the person. You don't have to continuously let them know what they're doing wrong. Because what could be happening is you're taking your angst out on that person. Don't do it. Don't do it, Venus and Scorpio. Like I said, once again, my screen went black. How you move about for the remainder of the year of 2017 is going to determine whether or not you'll be single at the end of the year. It's also going to determine whether or not you will be in a relationship, coupled at the end of the year, if you're already in a relationship, or if you're not in a relationship. Stay focused. Keep the faith. Know that it's going to work out. Pay attention to people's actions. But we know this. These are lessons that we've learned. These are all things that we've learned. And now it's almost like we still have PTSD a little bit from those past experiences that taught us all those lessons. So there's a need to heal. Don't bring the emotional baggage from the past into this new relationship. And I knew this card would come up because this is how I've been feeling all day with this guy. Like, just fed up, annoyed. Why can't you do anything right? Where's the other cup? Why is it missing? It's that energy. But I was like, you know what? While I really want to give him a piece of my mind, I know that that's not going to work in my favor. I've done that before, and I ended up hurting that person's feelings. And now the relationship, I'm talking about someone else now, but there are certain things that I've done as a Venus and Scorpio in the past that I know, my sword's been wobbly, you guys. I've treated people badly because I was anxious and upset and frustrated with how they were treating me. Meanwhile, I didn't really know what they were going through. And it just feels like that's kind of the same thing that's going on here. Although it feels like, okay, it feels like if you're single and maybe you were dealing with a situation, maybe you were talking to someone, dating someone in the past, and you ended things with that person because they just couldn't get it together. And it feels like something from the past is similar in this relationship. But while this person from in the present right now that we're talking about, meaning the same sign, same element, is of much better quality than the past partner. But there's still a need for this partner to kind of catch up to where we are, right? Venus and Scorpio, love is bridging the gap from point A to point B. It's helping to bridge the gap from point A to point B. It's helping to bring that person up to speed. Love is not berating that person, getting upset at that person, yelling at that person, talking that person down because they're not up to speed. Does that make sense? And I'm not putting the blame all on you, Venus and Scorpio. I'm definitely not. There's clearly some things that this person needs to work on themselves that they just need to work on if they want to be in a relationship with you, right? There are just some things that they need to work on. What I like about this person, Venus and Scorpio, is that they're willing to work on them. They really are. And it may not seem like it at first. It really may not seem like it at first, but they are. They are. This is a long reading, you guys, but I'm just going to keep going, and I hope you're enjoying this. Here we have the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles, working hard. Try not to put your focus so much on your partner. Coupled Venus and Scorpios, try not to put your focus so much on the person you're dating. Whether or not the person you're dating is of the same sign or not. But specifically if the person you're dating, and when I say dating, I mean dating with the purpose of getting to the point of being in a relationship, right? So I forgot what I was talking about. Hold on. Oh, try to not be so focused on the person you're dating and the person you're in a relationship with. Try to find something to keep you occupied outside of the relationship. And I think that's also going to help you in terms of anxiousness and anxiety. And I think that's going to allow you to kind of take out those energies, the frustration that you have with with this person or that your partner. It's going to allow you to, if focusing on other things outside of your relationship or whatever, outside of your love life, focusing on hobbies or work or what so have you, your business, is going to allow you to take some of those frustrations that you're dealing with this person out. Rather than taking them out on that person, you get to take them out on something that's much more productive and fulfilling for your soul, right? So, Ace of Swords. Yeah, it definitely feels like as time goes on, as we get longer into the year, serious conversations are going to happen with this person. Things are going to move forward in a very serious manner. The tables are going to turn. So while it feels like Venus and Scorpio, you may be kind of the aggressor. I'm actually talking to all Scorpio, Venus and Scorpios at this point. I don't care if you're in a relationship or not. It kind of feels like right now you're the aggressor. You're the person taking the reins in the relationship, whether you're actually in a relationship with someone or whether you are just dating someone with the purpose of being in a relationship or with the goal of being in a relationship. It feels like ultimately right now you're wearing the pants, but it feels like actually as time goes on, the tables are going to turn and the other person's actually going to wear the pants, and you're actually going to see the other person become more aggressive, and you're going to see the other person take the reins more, and you're going to kind of fall back to the passive role. But ironically, it feels like that's where things are supposed to be. Of course, though, I don't want to say that's where things are supposed to be. That's where things are kind of most balanced. That's not to say that switching roles in a relationship causes unbalance. I actually think being able to switch roles in a relationship, meaning, someone being able to wear the pants, someone being able to take the reins, because maybe someone else isn't. Like, being able to switch roles in a relationship, I think, is very important. But it's also important to have an equal amount of power in a relationship, right? Power is very important for Venus and Scorpio. So, the Chariot, self-awareness. Love that. Seven of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune. Things moving forward in a very positive direction. Ten of Cups. Ooh. Someone's going to be introduced to the family. Some people are going to be introduced to the family. And that's when you know. That's when you'll know, okay, things are starting to get real. Things are going to be vague with this person, Venus and Scorpio, until you meet the family. Or until that person meets your family. I mean, that's, I think, when things are going to, in your mind, things are going to be like, oh shit, this is becoming real. But also energetically, things are going to be like, oh shit, things are becoming real. Two of Wands. Interesting. Of course, there's going to be a moment of fear, cold feet. Is this something I really want to do? Conflict. Six of Wands. Six of Cups. Sun. Oh, Venus and Scorpio. You're going to put this person through hell. Please don't. Please don't. I mean, do what you have to do, because ultimately it actually feels like, and I don't mean literally hell, it just feels like you're just gonna, this person just doesn't know what they're in for. But it feels like this person actually needs to go through hell, in a way. And what I mean by hell is it just feels like you are going to test this person emotionally. You're going to emotionally try this person, like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just feels, you know how Venus and Scorpios are. You know how we are. Like, we can just be very intense. And it feels like your intensity and your sometimes unpredictability in terms of emotion is what's going to put them through hell. But I feel like ultimately it's actually going to make them stronger and help them grow. The Hanged Man. There might be fear around commitment with this person, not only coming from you, but coming from the person as well. I want to say don't be so quick to label it. Don't be so quick to put a label on it. Once again, go with the flow. Let things be what they will be. Get to know each other. And as time goes on, it's just going to be what it's going to be. It's almost like you just can't stop the inevitable. I'm pulling so many cards at this point. Two of Swords, lots of swords. Page of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. The Temperance card. Alright, I pulled so many cards. I've said so much in this reading, you guys. I don't even know how to sum up this reading. But I will basically say that how you maneuver, behavior, react from this point forward is going to determine how your end of the year will be. And I'm going to stick to, if you're single right now, if you're single Venus and Scorpio, 25 to 35% of you will not be single by the end of 2017, or you will at least be in the developments of solidifying a relationship with someone. It's going to be different for everyone. Everyone's going to be at a different stage by the end of the year, but for the most part, I definitely see, if you're not single, you're going to have someone. Whether or not the two of you are fully committed to one another, it's going to be different for everyone. But I'm sticking to that. And I'm going to end this reading by pulling some cards for you guys from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck by Dorian Virtue. I have said so much in this reading. This reading is so long. I'm tired. Ooh. Alright, you guys. This was a very intense reading, but I'm so glad I did it. Let's see what message Spirit has for Venus and Scorpios. Venus and Scorpio. What message do you have for Venus and Scorpio? Spirit. What message does Spirit have for Venus and Scorpio? Alright, I pulled 3 cards. Friendship. Make a date for a play date with 1 or more friends. Treasure chest. An unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you now. And last but not least, you got Venus and Scorpio. I love this. Protection. It says you, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. Alright, Venus and Scorpio, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed doing it for you guys. Until the next reading. I don't know if I'm going to do a part 4. We'll see. Let me know how the rest of the year goes for you guys, okay? And of course, I'll let you guys know how it goes for me, alright? Let's stay in touch, okay? I wish you guys nothing but the best love, health, and success. Contact me, Venus and Scorpio, at LamarrTownsendTarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading. Or your own birth chart reading, okay? Also, follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend. Like me on Facebook, Facebook.com/LamarrTownsendOfficial. And subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video and share with your friends and family, okay? Contact me at LamarrTownsendTarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential tarot reading, or email me at lamarr.townsend@gmail.com, okay? Thank you, Venus and Scorpio. I love you guys so much, okay? Have an awesome rest of 2017, and I will be here on YouTube. Alright? Thanks.